So a lot of people had the Steelers down in the dirt yesterday. A lot of people were saying fire Tomlin yesterday. And regardless of what happens on Sunday, the Steelers will remain first in the AFC North. So I don't know. How many coaches in the history of the NFL have been fired after winning a division? I mean, there can't be many. And to say that the Steelers can't win a playoff game this year, well, I mean, they beat the Patriots, they beat the Colts, they hung right in there with the Chargers. Who's to say they can't win a playoff game if they get a home game in the playoffs? Who's to say they can't? I mean, that's just a projection. That's a doom and gloom projection. Just like it was doom and gloom that the Steelers aren't going to win the division. Everybody was saying after they lost that the Steelers are going to get leapfrogged by the Ravens. They knew this was going to happen. And now they're cheering that the Steelers are back in first place. So, are we firing everybody now? Or are we off firing everybody now? Or what's the deal here? Because the way I see it, if the Steelers beat Buffalo and go to 7-5, and then the Steelers beat the Ravens after that and push them to 6-7, there's absolutely no way. The Steelers would have to literally lose out the rest of the way for the Ravens to catch the Steelers. So, I mean, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're entitled to Super Bowl. So that's what's going to happen. You know, we're going to win the division. Maybe 50-50, flip it in a coin because there's other good teams in the NFL. Maybe win a playoff game, maybe not win a playoff game. And, you know, people are still going to say he should be fired. Win, lose, draw, when we do make the playoffs. But it starts with beating the Bills and it starts with beating the Ravens. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But do I think the Steelers can beat the Bills? Yeah. Do I think the Bills can beat the Steelers? Yeah. The Bills are favored in this game by a lot, but they have Josh Allen and James Cook. Outside of that, I don't think the Bills have too many weapons on offense. Their defense has been playing terrible this year. It's at home. Aaron Rodgers is coming off a whole week of rest. He's looking rested. He's looking clean. And is looking ready to go in this game, to be honest. So I honestly think the Steelers can win this game. And let's just say they don't and go to 6-6, just like the Ravens. Well, they have the conference tiebreaker on the Ravens, so they'll still be in first, and they get a chance to go into Baltimore and beat Baltimore. And who's to say they can't beat Baltimore? The Steelers have had Lamar Jackson's number for years, pretty much. I mean, they crushed him in the playoffs last year, but if you look at Lamar's record against the Steelers, it's not good. Not good at all. And they literally just only put up 14 against the worst defense in history. One of the worst defenses in the history of the NFL. And the Ravens pretty much have all their money invested into their offense, which was pretty much fully healthy. They had Zay Flowers, they had Mark Andrews, they had Likely, they had Lamar, they had Derrick Henry. So everybody says Tomlin doesn't deserve any excuses when he has 9-8 seasons, when he has injury-riddled teams, and he's still able to get the team into the playoffs and still able to produce a winning season. There's zero excuses. So the way I see it, at home, Baltimore against Cleveland, there is zero excuses for the Baltimore Ravens to lose that game. That is a division game that they just lost and puts them at 2-1 in the division. And they have to play Cincy again, who just crushed them in their house. So if the Steelers beat the Bills, and if the Steelers beat the Ravens, this division is in the bag. So who can sit here and tell me that the Steelers can't win a playoff game this year, dude? Because they can. They've already beat the two best teams in the entire AFC. So to sit here and continue to every week by week talk about firing a coach when we're about to win the division and go to the playoffs. And even if, let's say, this is his first non-losing season, bro. It's the first season they have not made they have not had a winning season. They're not firing him. It's crazy that people talk about it every day and people just drink this Kool-Aid, bro. Especially when we're sitting first in the AFC North right now after all that doom and gloom. So you're going to fire someone who wins the division and makes the playoffs? It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. About time the Ravens go up against a quarterback. I hope, bro. If. That's all you've been saying. That's all you've been saying. Oh, look. The Ravens are gonna pass the Steelers. You're a Steelers fan. You just had a Steelers logo on your thing. Now you changed it. Now you're back to the Steelers fan base. Dude. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go root for the Ravens. Why don't you have that Ravens logo up no more? Why not? What happened? They're mid. They're 500. They're 6-6, and the Steelers are about to go to 7-5. And if they lose, I'm just putting it all into perspective. I'm the type of person that is going to look at things from all angles. Unlike blind Tomlin haters that just blame him for bad trades, blame him for bad contracts, blame him for bad quarterback play, blame him for everything that's not really his fault at the end of the day. Seriously. So, I mean, the Steelers are going to make the playoffs, honestly. I'm a Steelers fan. I'm rooting for my team, all right? I'm not going to sit here and root for the Ravens to catch us. And I'm not going to, literally, you're basically writing the Steelers off saying that, it's over. Now that the Steelers and the Ravens have the same record, it's over. The Steelers have to play the Ravens 2 times, and like I said, they have Lamar's number. Lamar's career record against the Steelers is terrible. Their defense looked terrible, and their offense looked horrible against the worst defense in the league. The Steelers at least went out there and put up 30 against the worst defense in the league, and they're not really known as an offensive team. They are not an offensive team, and they still put up 30, and that's nothing to brag about. But the Ravens are an offensive team, and they just only put up 14 against Cincy, and they have to play them again in Cincinnati. So who's to say the Ravens can't lose out to the Steelers twice, to the Packers, to the Patriots, and to Cincinnati again? That's what, quote unquote, all I'm hearing from Steeler fans all day is the Steelers are going to lose out. And not only that, I asked the question about, this is where just blind hate comes in, dude, in my opinion. When you sit there and you ask a question, how would you grade the Steelers season this year? And I get multiple littered comments, F. That's just an unrealistic grade in my opinion. I gave a B-. I asked my boy the other night, what would you give him? He said a C. At least he's realistic. He's actually realistic on his grade. I said a B-. We met in the middle, C+. That's how this season is. You beat the Bills, I'm grading this. Then I'll put my grade. I'll go back to my original grade of a B- for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And is that mediocre? No. But I guess we're the Pittsburgh Steelers, so we're entitled to a Super Bowl and we're entitled to playoff wins. And somehow, some way, you're going to have a Super Bowl roster every year because it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. The way I see it, and then I hear media people trying to indict Tomlin. Oh, he only has 10 wins above 500 since Ben Roethlisberger left. How many coaches literally can go from having a Hall of Fame quarterback and then having to try to rebuild your whole offense and trying to rebuild your whole culture and basically remain competitive while doing it? How many coaches can do that? And you want to compare him to Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis never won a playoff game in his entire career. Tomlin has 8 wins in the playoffs. How many coaches in NFL history can say they have 8 wins in the playoffs? How many coaches in NFL history has even made it 19 times to the playoffs to having an 8-11 record? 19 out of what? How many coaches? Seriously. There's been, out of 19 years in the entire NFL, everybody calls him mediocre. Mikey has only had 3 500 seasons. So to sit there and say he's mediocre, he's above 500. 19 seasons, 16 out of the 19 seasons. He's been a coach, has been to 2 Super Bowls, has won 1 Super Bowl. How many coaches in the NFL can say they've won a Super Bowl? How many? So, to sit here and write the Steelers off, it's crazy. The Steelers easily can go out there and win this division. They can easily go out there and beat Buffalo and beat Baltimore, and this division's in the bag. And let's say they lose to Buffalo and then beat Baltimore. It's almost in the bag. People say, well, the only reason the Steelers won is because the Ravens sucked this year. Well, the Ravens were supposed to be undefeated world beaters this year. Oh, they were injured. Well, when Tomlin has injuries, that's no excuse. So when the Ravens get injured, it shouldn't be an excuse for them losing. And they were fully healthy last night. The world-beating Baltimore Ravens that were supposed to catch the Pittsburgh Steelers and leapfrog the Pittsburgh Steelers just got embarrassed by Cincinnati in their house. Embarrassed. Straight dog walked. So, and they're playing soft teams, and they still can't win. But that's what I'm saying. They still got the Packers. They still got the Patriots. They still got the Steelers twice. And they got the Bengals again, who just mopped them. What are we talking about here? And the Steelers, who own Lamar Jackson, it's like Lamar is like 3-9. I don't know exactly. 4-10, 3-9, something horrible against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we're going to talk about the Steelers haven't won a game since 1995 in Chicago. Well, Lamar has a very, very bad record against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and they get him scatterbrained almost every time they play. And they are just not looking good this year. Their defense is terrible. And the way their offense played last night, I might say the Steelers have a better offense than the Ravens. I'm not going to go that far. That's a little bit too far, but wasn't good. And that just goes to show you, any given Sunday, any team can win. And you go to 7-5, you're well above 500, and you're in a driver's seat, and you pretty much, we still control our destiny. I've been saying the Steelers control your destiny. So to have a conversation about firing a coach as a team that controls your destiny in a division is unrealistic. The Rooneys shouldn't be having that conversation, and they're not having that conversation right now with anybody. Not with anybody. They're having the conversation of what can we do to adjust and what do we have to do to get better, to, stack up more wins, to basically beat Buffalo, to beat Baltimore, get ourselves into playoffs. And let's just say, I don't know, the Broncos fall off. I don't think the Broncos are going to fall off. I don't think the Patriots are going to fall off. So I think they got 2 guaranteed home bids at this point. Maybe the Chargers can catch the Broncos. I don't know how many times they got to play again. I think the Chargers, if they played the Broncos, would win, but I don't know how many times they got to play still. But I think the Steelers would match up well against the Broncos. They're 9-2 right now, but I think the Steelers go up against the Bo Nix, a second-year quarterback. I think they can scatter him. I think they can force turnovers. They're an opportunistic defense. He's a second-year quarterback. That's the type of but they're not going to get it. But let's just say somehow they pull it. I say they can win that game. They've already beaten the Colts. They've already beaten the Patriots. I mean, everybody just wants to, no, they're not going to win a playoff game. Fire Tomlin. They're not going to win a playoff game. Fire Tomlin. Where are the Steelers? All these midgets on 93.7 The Fan and making these little midget boys. The Steelers were supposed to be tough and win Super Bowls every year. Fire Tomlin. This is what the Steelers fan base is reduced to, and basically rooting for the Ravens, man. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me while we control the division, man. It's crazy. It's unbelievable, man. That's what Rooney's soft. He's scared of the woke media. Oh, I'm tough, and I'm a Steelers fan. Dude, this shit I see is unbelievable, man. These people, it's crazy, man. It's so unrealistic, and I can't wait until the Steelers win the division this year. I can't wait until they beat Buffalo on Sunday, and I can't wait until they basically put the dirt right on the Ravens' casket next week after that, baby. Here we go, Steelers. So we're going to project. Let's project, baby. And we're going to project good things. And watch it happen. Here we go, Steelers.